Thank you for joining us for the 2-minute drills. Behind the camera, this is Aram Talegian, the San Gabriel Valley Newspaper Group football writer, joined by, on the left, Miguel Melendez, Pasadena Star News Prep Sports editor, and on the right, Fred J. Robledo, the San Gabriel Valley Tribune's Prep Sports editor. Guys, as always, throughout the season, when we get you two together at moments like this, it can mean only one thing: a nice cross-coverage area showdown, and that's exactly what we have. Well, we have both sides of the semifinals in the Mid-Valley Division are just that. Right now, we're talking about San Dimas 10-2 going to San Gabriel 8-4. This game's at 7 o'clock at San Gabriel High School. Guys, they met already this season. It was one of the biggest blowouts that we can recall seeing.
59-3, right, Aaron?
Yeah, between you see blowouts all season long, but between two teams that are pretty good. Usually, you don't see a 59 to, I believe it was 59 to 6.
Oh, 59
to 6.
Okay.
And someone had told me it was like 36-0 after the first quarter, or maybe at halftime. And obviously, that was San Dimas that put that whipping on San Gabriel. So although this is a rematch and a repeat here, I don't think what we see on the field on Friday night is going to resemble that game too much, but I could be wrong.
Well, it's not. I don't think it's going to resemble a 53-point blowout here.
Okay.
I remember back when that happened, when San Dimas started this role, and I remember that early in the year, this in September, they beat Azusa. They killed San Gabriel, which you just said. They went to Monrovia and really whipped on them.
Yeah.
These could be the three teams that San Dimas has to beat again consecutively in the playoffs, maybe, because if they win today and Monrovia wins, they've got to beat those three teams over again.
You like that, Fred?
Well, no, I don't like that. But I think
either.
when you look at San Dimas, I mean, this is a team that hasn't even had a home game all year. What they're doing, I mean, to beat three teams or to maybe have to beat three teams in the playoffs that you've already beaten during the season, that is so hard to do. It's hard to do that once against playoff caliber teams. To ask them to do that three times, that's awfully hard. And the way this San Gabriel team is playing right now, I mean, Miguel can talk about it more. This team is on a roll. This isn't the same team earlier in the year. The same way Mir is not the same team as they were midway through the season.
Right. I mean, San Gabriel, no way. This is a completely different team. You saw them in the first 5 games of the season, completely lost at what they were doing. They go into league, get on a roll, average 40 points a game. They're defensively, they're a team that's underrated. But as you saw, they shut out Maranatha, a team that was coming in averaging 35 points a game. They shut out their stellar quarterback. I think defensively, physically, they play as good as anybody right now. I mean, they've really been underrated on that end of the field. They're just such on a roll right now with Andy Guerrero at quarterback. He's such a dual threat. I don't know that there's another quarterback like that in this division who can burn you on the run, burn you with the pass.
Well, there was. There was, but there is no longer.
He's sitting at home now, and Andy Guerrero's getting the play.
Well, Guerrero had the better game.
Livingston guy at Covina's not a bad running pass threat either.
Yeah, he doesn't run as much anymore since he got banged up doing that.
Guerrero has the numbers to back that up, that he's a mobile quarterback. 3,000 yards passing, 1,000 yards rushing. This guy is the focal point of that offense.
Miguel,
I just don't see how they're going to shut out the way they were.
I saw him against Arroyo. I don't know your area as well as you do, and these are obviously decisions you're going to have to make. I'd be shocked if he wasn't your all-area quarterback. I mean, that guy, I kept saying to myself, this kid's going to wear out. He's running the ball way too much in this game against Arroyo. I was at that game on Friday night. And on every play, you know, he was having to just exert himself so much. I said, this kid's going to have to wear out. It never happened. He didn't wear out. I mean, he carried the ball, I can't remember, 18 times or something. And not only that, his stats, he outdid Steven Rivera, which is very difficult to do. This guy, man, he is one impressive quarterback. He really is.
And I remember when we had Coach Oliva here early in the year, right?
Yeah.
We had him and we were talking.
Yeah.
And their expectations were high. This was before the Mir game. And I told him, because I covered that team, it was 2006, Aram?
03.
03.
Yeah, I know. Time flies.
2003, when they last played that championship, that was an emotional roller coaster team that caught fire midway through.
They were third-place team out of their league, right?
And it captivated the whole city. I remember going to that semifinal game at home, and I'd never seen that many people at semifinal.
Let me do you one better. I remember going to the championship game, and I lived in Monterey Park at the time, and I was going to cover the championship game that night against South Hills at Covina District Field. When I got on the 10 freeway by my house, there was a sign on the overpass or on one of the bridges over there that said, like, good luck, Matadors, and all that. I could not believe it. Now, however, San Gabriel had an okay turnout at Arroyo. Hopefully, it gets back to that big.
It just struck me as a school that once they get rolling, those fans come out in droves, those alumni come out in droves, and they've got a home game against San Dimas. So I would imagine that atmosphere is going to be alive and well on Friday night. But again, like we said, San Dimas, they've played on the road all year.
Yes, they have.
And when you talk about a 53-point victory, that's very hard to just come back and win just because you're playing the next time you call it a rematch game.
Right.
And what I find, when I look at that game, we look at who San Dimas lost to, Bonita, a team that's more physical than them. You look at a team like Covina, a team that's more physical than them. You get to someone like San Gabriel, which is probably like in size, and you go against a San Dimas team that runs the wing T and they run that offense so well.
Yeah.
That's hard for those teams to defend. A physical team has a better chance of defending against it, but when you're of like size, it just seems like that's when San Dimas can just roll over those teams with their offense and the way Coach Bill Zernico does it. And you saw them doing that last week against Azusa for the most part.
I just don't see, San Gabriel. I think they're really underrated. Their defensive line.
I'm gonna have to step out.
Their defensive line is very. Yes. It's a strong defensive line team right now that's led by Carlos Purser. They have some size inside that I don't think people give them credit for. And we've seen them punish some of these other offensive line and really flesh out some of these quarterbacks, create havoc in the pocket, and really shut down the run. And we've seen two different styles of San Gabriel play. We saw them play a defensive stand, shootout, take a defensive stand against Maranatha in the opener, and then go on a shootout against Arroyo. So this team can play both ways.
Right. Well, what I saw from San Gabriel that I think is going to give them trouble, and I'm happy I finally got to see them. What I saw from them in that game against Arroyo on Friday night was they have a hard time stopping the run up the middle. Peter Oholoka, the running back from Arroyo, had a field day. I'm sure the San Dimas guys have seen that. I'm sure that was probably the reason why San Gabriel had so much trouble against San Dimas first time around. And because of that, Miguel, despite the fact I think Guerrero's going to be able to put up points and whatnot, San Gabriel seems one-dimensional to me on offense, meaning it's all Guerrero. Either he runs or he throws. They don't have much of a running game besides him. And on defense, I don't see how they stop San Dimas' run up the middle. That's why I'm picking San Dimas in this game. I know Freddie is as well. Who do you got?
Well, I think I would counter the argument by saying that they've seemed one-dimensional, and it seemingly looks that way because it's been working for them since the start of the league. And what's working, you go with it. They have options, too, with Eric Alvarez, who can line up as quarterback. You can have Guerrero line up on the Wildcat, which is essentially what it is right now. Yeah. You have Joseph Mayorga, who's only a freshman running back. Guys, they have weapons. They just haven't really utilized them, and they haven't needed to.
They do.
Maybe they, put them on display on Friday, but because they haven't had to use these guys yet, everything else seems to be working for them. I'm going to go with San Gabriel for also the simple fact that San Dimas' lucky charm won't be there, and that's our very own Stevie Ramirez.
Yeah, I don't think that's quite. I mean, Stevie's nice, but I think San Dimas will get along fine.
I wasn't there last week, Miguel.
He wasn't there when. Well, okay, whatever. I'm going with San Dimas because of what I said. I'm happy that I've now seen both teams in person. San Gabriel, I do not think have any shot of stopping San Dimas' run, especially up the middle.
What if they get into a shootout, though? I mean,
it's not going to happen. I don't see this game degenerating into a shootout at all. I think San Dimas will be able to curtail Guerrero better than Arroyo did because physically they're a better team than Arroyo, and they may have a few more athletes in that back seven. So I don't think it'll be as easy as the first time, but this is a game that I think San Dimas is going to control. And like it does not make me right just because I've seen both teams now. But having seen both teams, I feel pretty confident in saying that. Yeah. So you've got San Gabriel, I've got San Dimas. Freddie has San Dimas as well. And what can you say? These two teams deserve a big crowd on Friday night. Get out to San Gabriel and watch that. Thank you for watching.